Today was just such a good day. I had the opportunity to go and spend time with my brother. And it was such a blessing to be able to see what God is doing in his life and in the life of our family. Many times we think there is no way that God can turn this thing around for the good. And I want you to know that he can. It truly doesn't matter what you're going through today. I want you to know that God can turn it around. It's a matter of perception, right? As a man thinks in his heart that he is. So I believe that if today you don't have a job, you have an opportunity to cry out to the Lord. If today you're having difficulties in your marriage, I believe that it is an opportunity to reach out to the Lord. I know that if you have been lied about, I know that that is an opportunity for you to reach out to the Lord. I know in my life today, there's different things that are going on, and I know that we don't say I'm fasting, I'm praying, but I know I'm fasting, I'm praying. There's some things in my life that are going on that there are some things that only come out, the Bible says, through prayer and fasting. So if that is so, then of course I'm going to pray. Of course I'm going to fast. Of course I'm going to ask God to intercede. I was sharing that story of my, oh Jesus, help me. And sometimes you need prayer because your lighting is not working out. I was sharing with someone recently. They were saying my son had said, I don't serve God anymore. I don't want to serve God. I belong to a different religion. And I said, okay. And one of my children said, you're not concerned? And I said, no, not at all. I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned. I'm not. I brought him up in the things of God. That child would have never, ever had a chance at being born unless God had done the work. And he was brought up as a Christian, and he saw me by God's grace and only his grace. He saw me not in perfection, but he saw me walk the walk of a Christian. So he knows who God is. He's cried out to the Lord. But I said, I'm not concerned. And why am I not concerned? Because until we come to that place where nothing else works and I have no control, and the child is dying, or the child is not able to be born, or your child is blind, or the medical report says your child is abnormal, or the doctor says you cannot ever conceive, and all that comes to your mind is, of course I can. I've done this to myself. I had these 5 abortions. And unless you know that the only hope for your marriage, for your career, for your health, for your situation, for your home, for your country, for your everything, unless God intercedes, then you don't really know. Then you don't really know who you serve and why you serve them. So am I concerned that my child says, I don't believe in Jesus? No. Because when that child comes across, the Bible says, when we fall into temptation, the Bible says, through many trials and tribulation, we enter the kingdom. When life happens and there's nothing else and there's no control and money cannot solve a situation and this and that cannot fix it, then I know without a doubt that my son is going to cry out to the Lord. Hopefully it won't get there. Hopefully he will turn to the Lord when everything is good. But if not, I know without a doubt that that's when I cried out to the Lord. I know without a doubt that when I didn't know how to fix my marriage, when my ex-husband was sitting in a jail facing 2 years of prison, when I was broken, when I was hurting, when that man wouldn't see me and I was his wife because I had done so much damage, when life happened and I had no control, that's when I cried out to the Lord. So I encourage you, today serve God from a place of abundance, from a place of, I know that the skies are blue and they're not up there just because. And I know that I didn't get here by myself. And I know that you've done all these things for me to know that you are real. From that place, because he is a good God, because he has taken care of you and I, because he has provided, because he has met every one of our needs according to his riches in glory, because he's faithful, because he's the one that sticks closer than a brother, because he's the one that never leaves me, because he's the one that never forsakes me, because he is that God, because he is a good God, because he is an abundant God, because he is an awesome God, because he's the God that can change any situation, because he is that God. From that place, I would love to see you and I serve him, because he's good, and his mercy, his love, they endure forever. May the Lord bless you. Stay abundantly